The Iron Curtain was not a physical barrier, but an imaginary line dividing Europe after World War II. It represented a political, ideological and military separation between the communist East and the democratic West. This division split countries, families and even cities. On the east side of the Iron Curtain were the Soviet Union and its satellite states, forming the Eastern Bloc. These countries were under Soviet influence and control. On the west side were Western European countries and the United States, forming the Western Bloc. They championed democracy and capitalism. The Iron Curtain stretched from the Baltic Sea in the north to the Adriatic Sea in the south. It cut through Germany, with the Berlin Wall becoming its most visible symbol. This division had a profound impact on the lives of millions of Europeans. The Iron Curtain emerged from the ashes of World War II. As the war ended, tensions grew between the victorious Allied powers, particularly the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers emerged from the war with different ideologies and goals for the future of Europe. The Soviet Union, led by Joseph Stalin, sought to establish a buffer zone of friendly communist states in Eastern Europe. This was driven by security concerns and a desire to spread communist ideology. The United States, advocating for democracy and capitalism, aimed to contain the spread of communism and promote self-determination in Europe. The Yalta Conference in 1945, intended to shape post-war Europe, instead highlighted these growing divisions. While agreements were made regarding free elections, the reality on the ground differed. Soviet influence grew steadily in Eastern Europe, leading to the establishment of communist regimes. This expansion of Soviet influence, coupled with ideological clashes, solidified the metaphorical Iron Curtain, dividing Europe into two distinct blocs. The Iron Curtain became the defining symbol of the Cold War. This period, lasting from the late 1940s to the early 1990s, was marked by intense rivalry and mistrust between the East and West. The Iron Curtain represented this division, signifying a world on the brink of conflict. The presence of the Iron Curtain led to a stark contrast in life experiences. In the East, communist governments controlled economies and restricted individual freedoms. The West enjoyed greater political and economic freedom, fostering a consumer culture and rapid economic growth. The Iron Curtain also fueled military build-up on both sides. NATO, formed in 1949, represented the Western Alliance, while the Warsaw Pact, established in 1955, countered it from the East. This military standoff, coupled with espionage and proxy wars, kept the world on edge. Life under the shadow of the Iron Curtain was a reality for millions. Families were separated, movement was restricted, and the threat of conflict loomed large. This period shaped the political landscape of Europe and significantly impacted global affairs. The fall of the Iron Curtain was a momentous event that reshaped the world. It did not happen overnight, but was a result of internal and external pressures that weakened the Soviet grip on Eastern Europe. Economic stagnation in the East contrasted with prosperity in the West, fueling discontent among those living under communist rule. The rise of reformist leaders like Mikhail Gorbachev in the Soviet Union, who introduced policies of glasnost or openness and perestroika or restructuring, further weakened the Soviet system. Simultaneously, popular uprisings against communist rule erupted across Eastern Europe. Protests in Poland, Hungary, and East Germany, demanding freedom and democracy, challenged the status quo. The symbolic fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 marked a pivotal moment, signaling the imminent collapse of the Iron Curtain. With the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, the Iron Curtain finally fell, ending the Cold War and ushering in a new era. The reunification of Germany, the liberation of Eastern European countries, and the formation of new democracies marked the triumph of freedom and self-determination. The fall of the Iron Curtain had a profound impact on Europe and the world. It led to the end of the Cold War, the reunification of Europe, and the spread of democracy. However, it also brought new challenges like ethnic conflicts and the need to integrate former communist countries into a new world order. The legacy of the Iron Curtain continues to shape the political landscape of the 21st century.